Yo, guys, it is Old Man G here, back again with another match preview for Red Devil Studio. Apologies on the lateness of this. Um, sorry if I'm honest. I got back from work late, and also the Chelsea game was on, so this had to be pushed back by quite a bit. I know a lot of people were watching Chelsea game. Certainly, I was watching Chelsea game. Shout out to KSI in the chat. Thank you for joining. And what a game it was. Chelsea take another L under Frank Lampard. And is it the beginning of the end of Frank Lampard, to be honest? Because, I'm a bit biased here, aren't I? I'm a bit biased. I just, you know, I just think that they need to give him time, because these Chelsea fans were bantering us about Ollie and how trash he was and blah, blah, blah. And oh, we spent 200 million and we're now we're going to win the league and the Champions League and look how good these players are, etc. And the reality is that if we win our game, I think tomorrow against Fulham will be, I think it's like 11 points. I think they're on 29. And if we win, we'll be on 40. So we'll be 11 points clear of Chelsea. I'm still seeing some Chelsea fans saying that they're going to make top four. That's a bit debatable, isn't it? So, but yeah, it's funny. It's enjoy the decline while we continue to try and fight for the title. That's the goal for United, and that's where we are. And shout out to Mo in the comments as well. And that's what this preview is about, because we obviously had for me, a good point against a Liverpool side, the champions of England. And what we now need to do now is regroup, because the next two games to me are key. Because we need to beat Fulham and Sheffield easy. We should beat Fulham and Sheffield, but we can't take these games for granted, because quite frankly, I'm worried about Arsenal. I'm more worried about Arsenal than I am Chelsea right now. They're getting back into their form and groove, and we all know what happens when United go to the Emirates Stadium. They always seem to give us problems. So to be honest, it's imperative that we beat Fulham and beat Manchester United to at the very least maintain where we are, because I would be very surprised if we went to the Emirates Stadium and got a win. A draw would be okay, but a win, I'm not entirely sure. I'm really not entirely sure. Shout out to Damien, says Chief Ndidi. Chief Ndidi indeed. I shouted at that goal. It means United are not top of the table, but at the same time, it's great because respect the Nigerian man. Respect the Nigerian. And unfortunately, like I said, Chelsea FC are in the mud right now. So what that means is, guys, if you're Chelsea fans watching this, please stick with Lampard. Please stick with Lampard. But anyway, we're on to talk about Fulham versus Manchester United. And before I go into the starting lineup, etc., I just want to quickly go for a few things that Solskjaer mentioned in his press conference that I think were just noteworthy in my opinion. And the first thing is just regarding Diallo, actually. And he was asked in this press conference, it was the Fulham press conference, one of the players he had brought in, he came in the last few days, is Amad Diallo, who everyone knows is our 37 million right wing, is a youth player, 18-year-old. And it says, what have your first impressions of him been? And I read this, and I think this is quite exciting, because he says, very good, he can handle the ball, he's enjoyed training and made quite a difference in training, which is quite remarkable at his age. Some adjustment to settle into the hustle and bustle of the physical part of the Premier League. I can't see it being too long until he's in the squad. Now, bearing in mind that obviously we bought Palestri in as well, who was a signing as well into the team. This is good. I'm looking forward to it, because the key thing with Amad Diallo is 18. He's got a lot of potential. He's been highly rated, but more importantly, he's a right winger. And if the difference that he's making is the fact that he's suddenly giving us creativity on the right-hand side, delivering balls, crossing in, linking up with likes of Cavani or Martial number 9, I think potentially, depending on how this goes, if he can get up and running soon, and Solskjaer says he's going to be involved in the squad sometime soon, this might make a difference regarding our title challenge, especially if he can come clutch as a right wing. I'm not expecting big things from Diallo, but I'm just saying, if Solskjaer is right and he is making a difference to the team in training, I think that's something to look forward to. So I think that's important thing to dwell on. Samuel says, I'm happy for my club, Manchester United. As am I, bro. As am I. I am very, very, very happy. United Social says, I always believed that Diallo could make it to the first team because if Daniel James could have a young and talent. Exactly, bro. Exactly. You know, I should put a post saying, make sure that you guys like the vid, and subscribe if you're new. Please do. Yeah, I mean, if Daniel James can, then surely Ahmad can, especially considering we paid more money. I don't believe you spend £37 million on a player and he just rots in the under 23s. I just don't get that, and I don't think that's going to be the case for Amad Diallo. Shout out to Red Devil Weekly and United Social Television. Please head over to their channels, give them some much love, and subscribe. It goes a long way. So go to them, go to Red Devil Weekly and United Social Television, subscribe to those channels, watch their vids, support them. We are a big United family. Red Devil says, hey G bro, and I sense to go back top of the league can be a blessing or a curse depending on how we play tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, it depends. I do think it puts pressure on. I mean, it'd be interesting to see because we play, I think, after City. So so we'll obviously have the pressure of Leicester, and then you have the pressure of Manchester City, who obviously go ahead above us if they beat Villa. Now, if they don't beat Villa, then obviously that gives United even more of an opportunity, because I've already discounted, as far as I'm concerned, Chelsea are not and Arsenal are not involved in this title challenge right now. It's down to the likes of Everton, Leicester, Spurs, City, Liverpool, United. Those are for me the 6 teams in terms of recent form that are going to be involved in this title challenge. And then as we get to closer to season, I assume we'll get close to 2 or 3. So we'll see what happens. And we are still just about halfway through the season, so we'll take it from there. Sorry. So just a few other things in the press conference before we go into what I think the starting 11 will be. This mouse, I hate this computer. This mouse, sorry. He goes on about Diallo, says, in terms of the time scale, will it be 4 or 5 weeks, that sort of thing? Or is it going to be a bit quicker than that? Okay, it might be quicker than that. Wow, who knows? So 4 or 5 weeks, so it could be the next 2 or 3 weeks with Diallo introduced. We don't know. But so it might be quicker than that. So he says he's definitely settled down well. The players have taken to him, and he's a very good character, a very good smiley boy who works really hard. He's doing his sessions and getting used to us, of course. There's always been adjustment, but he's settling well. That is very good. And I think I heard that Eric Bailly is actually his mentor. So that's actually very, very encouraging in my opinion as well. There's also another thing, says he spoke about defensive momentum, but where do you feel the team is from an attacking point of view? It's just 2 goals from the last 4 games in all competitions, and the 4 is just a tiny bit off where they need to be at the moment. And he says, I think this season we've scored more goals with more chances than before. It's only a matter of time before those, margins that were against us at Liverpool tip our way again. We have players who can do the individual bits, but the team is getting better. They're working better. Of course, the foundation will always be the hard work and the shape Manchester United we're expected to create a chance whenever we have the players to do that. I mean, that's a dumb question, but I mean, yes, it's based on who we played in those last 4 games. If you exclude the City game in the league, if you look at the league games, we scored goals. We scored 4 goals, in fact. So I don't understand. Let's see any other things from the press conference that I think are worth. They talk about Bruno Fernandes. They're trying to bait him to say Bruno Fernandes is a bit off, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's been tired. He's played quite a few games because he's been told about, how come you can't beat any of the top 6 teams? He's like, well, we're improving, so allow them and let's move on. Right. Thank you for everyone who's watching, by the way. We really appreciate it. So starting 11, as you can see, the starting 11, David De Gea obviously in goal. I don't think that's going to change. Now, an interesting point going to this game is that I think 3 of our players on yellow cards, which means that if they get a yellow card, they're going to be suspended. And I think those players are Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, and Bruno Fernandes. Now, given Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's comments about Fernandes, I expect Fernandes is going to play because he just wants to play, which is a risk. Although he'll only not play against Sheffield United. It's not that big of a risk, but it's still there. So for me, I would say that he's going to play anyway, so I expect he's going to play. Maguire again seems to like to play every single game, so he's going to be there. Even though he should be dropped because he's a card away. So if he gets a card, then presumably one of Baye or Lindelof will come in the Sheffield. Again, it's not a big deal. I expect that the other Shaw, I think, will come out, and I think Telles might come in. I think this is the game where you have to do some squad rotation here. Bring Telles in as a left back to give us some opportunities. Baye, obviously, I think will come in for Lindelof, although he should come in for Maguire. But I think he will come in for Lindelof just for the sheer fact that I think Maguire just wants to play every single game, even though he should rest. He's played, aside from that PSG game, he's played the Watford game as well. Actually, he's played almost every, and he ended up playing in that because Baye took a knock. So it is what it is. Now, as far as the midfield goes, I would be very surprised if Ollie goes with a Fred and McTominay in midfield. That just doesn't make sense for a Fulham side that struggled to score goals and who are without two of their main danger men. So I expect he'll go back to Matic and Pogba in the midfield with Fernandes up top. I wouldn't expect Donny van der Beek to start. Let's be real, he's probably not going to start. Red Dev Weekly says, I doubt we'll see Diallo in the games come this week, but I'm really focused. Exactly. If it's less than 4 or 5 weeks, then we might see something of him in the next, I'd like to see him against Sheffield United. I think that would be interesting. I'll have at least as part of the squad, maybe to come on later. Who knows? That might be interesting in my opinion. Like I said, Matic and Pogba will be in the midfield, most likely, giving us the stability and obviously passing, which I think we actually missed against Liverpool. Pogba starting out right, and Matic, as much as I love Fred and McTominay, their ball distribution in terms of creative passes, creative play, isn't that great. They're good, they're hard-working players, and they can certainly frustrate the midfield, but they don't create much, and I think certainly against the better teams, you can get punished, especially when they end up losing the ball and not tracking back, which unfortunately was something that they happened to do a few times yesterday. Obviously, the front three are going to be Martial, Fernandes, and Rashford. I don't see any changes in that respect. Rashford will probably be on the right, Martial on the left, and Fernandes there, although he might again give Rashford a rest and give someone like Daniel James or Mason Greenwood a start. And then Cavani will go up top. I think Cavani will go up top. He's been out for how many games? He needs to get his fitness back. And I think a game against Fulham, I think would suit them. So I think that for me is how I would go, as how I would set up, and how I think Solskjaer will set up anyway. And I expect to win. That's what I do. I expect to win. Let me know what your starting 11s are in the comments, guys, in the comments below this video. And remember, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, United X. Smash the notification button. We're also on Twitch as well. We're hoping to do some more watch-alongs. Lineup looks solid. Matic coming back is a safe prediction. Hope this is the game Fernandes picks up some form. I mean, I don't think Fernandes has really been. I wouldn't say even Fernandes has been bad. I just think that like with a lot of players, he's just tired. He's like Maguire. He's played almost every single game in all competitions, and he just looks a bit tired, to be honest. And on top of that, we need other creative players in their positions, because I feel like if Pogba plays in the midfield, it takes some of that pressure off Fernandes to create. Whereas if Pogba's on the right, then I really didn't think that helped us. I generally think if we played Pogba and Fred, or Pogba and Matic in Liverpool, we would have actually caused Liverpool more problems. But playing Pogba on the right, don't stop playing Pogba on the right or left. To play him in his position, which is either as a cam or as a box-to-box. But don't play him on the wing. It's not really helpful. United says the reason as to why Diallo will fill quickly is because Ollie lacks a fast and skilled right winger who will break down defense. Exactly. And we were supposed to get Sancho, but we didn't get Sancho typically. So no, I absolutely agree with you. That's what I expect, and that's what I think that we should go for. And United's a counter-attacking team, of course. Diallo's speed and skill is badly needed. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him. I would drop either Rashford and Martial for VDB, but that's more in hope than expectation. Yeah, I mean, Mo, I would agree with you, but I've almost stopped going on about VDB because I know that he's not going to play him. So it's almost like, it's like a lot of things. It's like the Ollie in, Ollie out thing. Like, nothing's going to change. So why almost waste the energy? And that's the same thing with VDB. Even with the Eric Bay situation, with the whole, he should start Bay. I'm now being like, you know what? The energy is just, there's no point. There's not really much point. So you just get on with it, really. So what are the score predictions? Well, let me know your score prediction in the comments as we round up here. But for me, I'm going. Fulham have got a solid defense, and it is difficult to score against them. But I don't think they're going to be that big of an attacking threat. But I think, again, typical low block, much like Wolves of West Brom. But I think we'll pull through and get the dub. And I expect a 2-0. I don't expect many problems in the defense. So I expect a 2-0 win to Manchester United. Rashford to get a G. And let's say Cavani to get a G as well. You know, so and put us back to the top of the table. That's what I think. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And in the comments. Really appreciate it. Remember, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Come on, Manchester United. If we win this game against Fulham, we back to top of the league, put the pressure on our rivals, on City, on Spurs, on Liverpool, and so on. Let's continue this title charge, guys, because it is a title charge. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.